Hey homies, it's your girl Emily, aka Ellie the Illest, and today I'm going to be doing this paranormal psychic story time. It's about to get really weird, so stay tuned folks. So basically I've always had this fascination with dreams. I've always felt like when stuff happened to me I was always like, whoa, I feel like I've dreamt this, I feel like I've been here before, just like a major case of deja vu. And my mom is like very into like, you know, spiritual stuff, but she's a Latino woman, so we're very spiritual people altogether. If you know what I mean, if you're Latina, you know what I'm talking about, okay? She had this dream book. I remember it was all in Spanish. I don't know how to read Spanish, I don't really know how to speak Spanish that much, but I used to study it and ask my mom, what does this mean, what does this mean, you know? So I've always been into incense and candles and everything, and auras and horoscopes. I've just been completely interested into it, and I feel like to start the story I have to talk about my paranormal experience when I was young, very young at an age. If you don't know, my dad is in the military, so I've moved around a ton, but at the age of kindergarten, around that time, I definitely lived in a paranormal house, as I believe, and this is why I believe in ghosts, and this is why I believe in something more than, you know, more than just life that we live in today. So it starts out in this Alabama home, just one story. Me and my sister shared a bedroom. My parents had their bedroom, you know, just a simple little house. And one night we were all watching a movie and I fell asleep on the floor. I wake up to my parents like murmuring and like talking, and they're like frustrated. I'm like, what is going on? At this time I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, but it's something so imprisoned in my brain because it was just like this crazy experience. My parents experienced something too. It wasn't just me, it was everyone in the house. They're murmuring and talking, and they were saying that they heard someone humming, and the little lazy boy we had in the living room, because we were watching a movie and all fell asleep in the living room, but that wasn't clear, but there was a lazy boy in the corner and was like rocking, and it was someone humming like la di la di da di da, something like that. And me being a little girl that I was, and like I had seen horror movies at the time, you know, I knew about ghosts, I knew about horror stories, I've read books, so I knew what a ghost was. So when my parents were telling me this, of course I was freaked out, and they're like, just go to your room, it's fine, it's fine. But it wasn't just that. That was like the first experience that I remember, but I also remember like ever since I lived in the house, it was like every night I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would hear pots and pans banging, and that's like messed my REM cycle, my sleeping cycle, that even later on in life, when I moved out the house, I would still wake up in the middle of the night. Even though there was no pots or pans banging, I would still wake up just because my cycle was so used to waking up around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would wake up and I would hear pots and pans banging, and like I wasn't sure what it was, but I was just like hiding myself under the covers and like try to keep to myself or whatever. And yeah, so one night, it definitely, whatever it was, fluctuated within the kitchen and the living room. So a little outlook of my house at the time, it was the living room, and there was a window in the wall that like looked into the kitchen so you could see everything. But one night I ran out there and I'm like screaming at the pots and pans banging, like they're banging right in front of my face. At the time, yes, I'm young. I've told the story so many times that this could possibly have been altered, or also I was a kid, I had a big imagination. Just being factual with you guys, of course. And I heard pots and pans banging, so I run inside and I'm like, stop, 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 and then it's just like silence. And after a couple of nights it kind of stopped, but then it went back to being normal pots and pans banging and just noises all together in the kitchen and living room. I was surprised also because I never heard my parents talk about it. I never heard my sister said they heard something, so I wouldn't know if I was going crazy or whatever. But also I slept in my parents' room a lot the majority of the time at that house because I was so frightened. But anyway, back to the outlook of the house. So you could see into the kitchen. So one day I was in the living room, whatever, being a kid, playing around, maybe watching TV. I used to watch MTV, I don't know. I used to love watching MTV when I was younger. So I'd watch TV on the screen and look at the music videos and stuff. And just like I heard noises again, and I was just by myself at the living room. I was by myself in the living room. And I look over in the window and I just see a black figure like run across. And I think I screamed for my sister, and it was just really scary. So, but then I was a curious little kid, so like I run over, and in the garage was like a little window. I don't know what the thing is with windows in this house, but there's a little window that you can look into the garage from the garage door. So I put my little stool that like I can stand up on, so like when I need to reach top things, and I stand on my stool and I look in the window and I just see this like black thing come towards me, and I scream at the top of my lungs, and I run into my room, and I was completely scared for my life. It was so intensely scary. And also, another thing that happened to me, it was just so much stuff was happening to me. I don't know, I used to have weird like visions, and I remember being out by the tire swing that we had in our backyard and just seeing it like rock by itself, or like leaves rustle with like no wind really nearby. It was just so extremely creepy again. But it wasn't all bad. It was just very negative in the house. So like I said, my parents were aware, and my mom, being a religious person, she called for a priest to come and visit. The priest came and blessed the house and tried to get rid of this evil spirit or whatever it was. And yes, it got better for a while, but it just didn't help. And my dad, who did some research online, and he found that the house that we lived on was actually an old hospital that was like knocked down and then rebuilt houses. And it was a hospital that was used for like the Civil War and everything. So you never know if it was somehow related to the ghosts. We kind of chopped it up to be that. So that was my first paranormal experience. It was completely terrifying. It like brought me, like, it made me realize that ghosts are 100% real, for sure. Like, they are real. They live among us. And yeah, so I got more into, you guys probably know, but like ghost hunters was really big growing up. Like, if you're around my age, I used to obsess over ghost hunters. I used to watch ghost hunters all the time in the dark in my room because I just loved creeping myself out after that. Going back into the psychic stuff, just to say that like in total, yes, I do believe that there is something else going on in the world. I believe in a lot of different things. I believe in a lot of unnatural phenomenons that happen in the world. But yes, so going back to what I was saying with the psychic story, around the year, my freshman year in high school, I started writing down my dreams, and I lost touch with that, and I'm not really sure when that journal happened to it. But around the end of my freshman year, I got into psychology, and so my teacher told me to record myself in the morning. Well, she told me to write down, but I just had this idea just to wake up in the morning and record myself. So ever since that day, I've been recording my interesting dreams that I've had on my like phone, voice memos or whatever. They're kind of hard to hear because I'm like in the morning, I'm like, this happened and this happened and I also do it because you never know if you're gonna have a J.K. Rowling moment and start writing books based on your dreams, just because some people have really interesting dreams, and I know I do. But recently I had this intense dream. But it starts off with, basically I was on a cruise with my friends, and it was like summer vacation or whatever, and like all my close friends were there, and even some of my family, like my mom, my sister, and my dad were there. We were playing volleyball in the sand, and we were having such a fun time. I remember taking a nap in my dream, which is really weird. Like, I remember laying down and sleeping. That night when the sun went down, we all went back into the cruise ship and like got dressed. So we're like, let's all go out, me and my friends, and like we all run out to the we go out, like we're walking to the night or whatever, people are walking with us. There's like people my age there too, you know, we're talking with them, asking where they're from. I remember they were like, oh, then well, let's go to Emerald Street, Emerald Easel Street. This part was kind of blurred, but I remember being emerald. So I'm a Gemini, and Gemini's birthstone colors are emerald, so like I've always just loved emerald green. It's just a beautiful color, and this dream was just so completely real. Like, it was like, I felt like I was on vacation. Like, it's summertime, I felt like I was going on a cruise. There's an airplane going over right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but sorry about that. So we're drinking beer, and there was like hippie people there too, but it was really fun. And I just really loved the vibe. Like, that was the main thing. Like, the vibe was just amazing. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. It was just so real, and I keep saying that, but it was just like completely real. And the moment I wake up, I was like, whoa, like that was a dream. Went straight away to my phone, and I'm telling you, I don't go on my phone every dream. It's just like the dreams are like so intense that I have to like remember this moment. So I go in and I tell the whole story to my phone, on the voice memo app. And yeah, and then I'm like, I need to know about this place. I feel like because it was so real, I need to find out more about this place. So I go on Google and I search Emerald Island, and the first thing that pops up is like ads for like cruise, take a cruise, and I was like, that's strange. Disclaimer, I've never heard of an Emerald Island. I've never heard of any of this stuff before. I don't know much about Caribbean. I've been there one time, and I went to like Atlantis, and I went to Key West, the basic places. I found this island that popped up when it said Emerald like Island. It said Emerald Easel, Emerald Easel. And because I was searching like Emerald Island, Emerald Street, whatever, Emerald Easel Montserrat. I don't know if I'm saying that right, that's just how I pronounce it. I'll put a name here of it, whatever, somewhere here. Montserrat Island in the Caribbean. It's just, even the name of it sounded familiar. I looked at pictures of it and I was like, oh my god, this is the place. This is where I was playing volleyball with my friends. This is the place that I dreamed of. I get like emotional just thinking about it. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I'm going crazy. I really don't know. Another thing, my patron saint, because I'm Catholic, my patron saint is St. Patrick, and it's just because, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into it. My patron saint is St. Patrick. If you're not Catholic, if you're not religious, it's basically like your saint that looks out to you, that you pray to for help and guidance, whichever, whatever. This island that is a big place for like St. Patrick Day parades and parties. It's just known as the island being like known for St. Patrick. Like, it's very like religious, and even then the picture of the name of the island on the island has like a little 3-leaf clover, which is a symbol for St. Patrick, which is crazy. I don't know, I just started noticing things. This might sound like completely like, okay, that's just a coincidence, whatever, but like, it's just crazy to me. I have this globe in my living room. Like, I was joking around, I was spinning it, and I wanted to hit my finger on a spot and see like, oh, where is our family going next on vacation? I was just joking around. I spin it and I hit right next to Puerto Rico, and I removed my finger and it's in Montserrat, and I was like, oh my god, what is with this island? I don't know. My mom talked to one of her friends, and like, we were just discussing about it, and she was saying that it probably has something to do that there is something for me at this island, and that maybe one day I need to go visit it and like it'll all come clear or something. But like, something about this island is just dragging me to it. I can't visit it anytime soon. I don't have the funds for it, of course, but like, definitely it's on my list to visit. I don't know what it is with this island, but it is screaming my name. I have dreams about it ever since then. It is just, I don't know, it's crazy. But this is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share and all that stuff before you leave. Hope you guys enjoyed this really interesting psychic and paranormal story time. I also was thinking about doing some job confessions, like story times, like more talking to the camera. I've worked at Subway and the hood / country of North Carolina, and I've worked at a shift, and I've also worked as a night shift worker at a gas station, which has some funny, crazy stories as well. But just let me know in the comments if you want to hear some of those. By the way, I've reached 100 subscribers, which I'm so thankful for. I've been doing this for almost a month. I think that this week is a month of me consistently doing it, not like last year when I posted 2 videos and never came back to it. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. No, we don't. It's really exciting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling your friends to subscribe. But yeah, bye homies.